Perched at the crossroads of legend and geology, China's great mountains are living cathedrals where mist weaves through vaulted rock pillars, temples float among the clouds, and the echo of ancient chants still rings in hidden valleys. For centuries, poets, pilgrims, and painters have sought to capture their magic. Wulingyuan's soaring quartzite spires inspired the floating mountains of Pandora. Mount Emei's silent forests still cradle the prayers of monks. Zhangye Danxia's rainbow-hued ranges seem conjured by a divine brush. In this epic journey of 10 extraordinary peaks, we'll step into realms where time slows to the pace of drifting mist, where every trail tells a tale, and where nature and human spirit entwine in a dance as old as the earth itself. Wulingyuan. Tucked into the northwestern corner of Hunan province, the Wulingyuan scenic area spans 26,400 hectares of primeval subtropical forest and towering quartzite pillars. From the lush valley floor at 450 meters up to the 1,264-meter summit of Tuerwangyu Peak, more than 3,000 sandstone columns rise like ancient sentinels, their moss-draped shoulders pierced by vines and orchids. Over 400 million years of wind, rain, and tectonic uplift have sculpted the quartzite into spires reaching over 200 meters into the sky. As dawn breaks, each pillar glows in soft hues of ochre and rust. By midday, drifting mists weave through narrow clefts, transforming the landscape into a living tapestry. At dusk, long shadows carve dramatic relief across the valley walls. Hidden beneath the canopy lie 40 caves, their jade-green pools and stalactites illuminated by faint bioluminescent fungi after dark. 2 natural stone bridges, Tianqia Shenkong, arch between monoliths like portals to another realm. Tujia and Yao villagers tell of a great dragon whose bones petrified into the forest of pillars. One favorite tale recounts a young scholar lost among the columns, guided by phantom lantern lights said to be kindled by mountain spirits. He discovered a hidden grotto filled with bamboo scrolls of ancient rituals, scrolls that later inspired the local spring festival dances. Adventure seekers board the Beilong elevator, the world's tallest outdoor lift, ascending 357 meters of cliff face in under 2 minutes for a panoramic vista of the Spire Forest. Hikers trace the Golden Whipstream Trail alongside crystal-clear waters and moss-covered stones, pausing to marvel at tiny waterfalls tucked behind rock curtains. At dusk, the remote Zhuozi village bursts with a lantern-lit forest opera. Villagers in embroidered costumes reenact ancestral myths to the pulse of drums and gongs, their melodies resonating across the valley. In Wulingyuan, the line between earth and sky dissolves into pure wonder. Mount Emei. Emerging from the plains of Sichuan like a sacred citadel, Mount Ime soars to 3,099 meters at Wanfoding. Its 154 square kilometers of temple-draped slopes earned UNESCO's Mixed Cultural and Natural Heritage title in 1996. Recognizing both its ancient Buddhist pilgrimage routes and its rich biodiversity. One of China's 4 sacred Buddhist mountains, Ime's spiritual lineage dates to the 1st century CE. Pilgrims ascend more than 4,000 stone-carved steps, chanting sutras at cliffside shrines, their voices blending with wind in the towering cedar and fir forests. At Golden Summit Temple, devout travelers witness the famed Buddha's light, a spectral rainbow halo encircling each person's shadow, when early morning sun refracts through the rock-laced mist. The lower slopes are alive with rare Tibetan macaques, their bright red faces peeking from bamboo thickets. Seasonal clouds drift through the forest like living sculptures, revealing hidden grottos and waterfalls that plunge into jade pools. In autumn, maple trees set the slopes ablaze in fiery reds and oranges, a living mosaic beneath the ever-shifting seas of cloud. Legend tells of a novice nun who spent 90 days in silent vigil under a 1,000-year-old Bodhi tree on Ime's flanks, achieving enlightenment and merging her spirit with the wind. Pilgrims honor her memory by planting saplings along the ascent and leaving clay lamps at her shrine, believing that each flickering flame carries a prayer skyward. Thrill seekers drift through emerald bamboo groves in a glass-floored cable car, while others descend into the soothing elephant bathing pool hot springs. Evenings come alive in the incense-filled halls of Wannian Temple, where monks chant beneath red lanterns, and the evening breeze carries the lingering notes of bronze bells. At Ime, the earth's quiet devotion touches the heavens. Zhangye Dangxia landform. Stretching across 510 square kilometers in the deserts of Gansu province, the Zhangye Dangxia National Geopark unveils a riot of color, undulating ridges painted in every shade from crimson to emerald. In 2019, UNESCO honored this site as China's first global geopark, celebrating its geological masterpiece. Over 24 million years, sedimentation laid down alternating layers of red sandstone and mineral deposits. Tectonic forces uplifted and folded these strata, and wind and water sculpted them into rippling waves of ochre, gold, and rust. As dawn's first light strikes the ridges, they blaze like molten metal. By noon, cool shadows carve new patterns. At sunset, the rocks glow with otherworldly brilliance. Ancient Silk Road travelers spoke of phoenix peaks, saying the ridges mirrored the plumage of mythical birds. Local storytellers claim that whenever a caravan buried precious jade beneath Rainbow Terrace, the spirit of the mountain would ensure safe passage by, glowing softly at twilight. Others speak of a dragon slumbering beneath the earth, the source of gentle tremors on moonlit nights. Board a specialized sightseeing train that winds through the park's narrow canyons. Disembarking at Moonlit Plateau to watch sunset, paint the hills in molten hues. Early morning finds photographers poised at Rainbow Terrace, cameras ready to capture the first golden rays igniting the striated peaks. Spring drapes the desert floor in carpets of wildflowers. Winter dusts the colored ridges with snow, creating pastel mesas beneath pale skies. Camping under a star-studded firmament, travelers witness the Milky Way arch like a silver bridge above the chromatic mountains. Zhangye Dangxia is nature's grand canvas brought to life. Huangshan. In southern Anhui Province, Huangshan, or Yellow Mountain, culminates at 1,864 meters on Lianhua Summit. Lauded by UNESCO in 1990, it is famed for its four wonders: granite peaks, resilient pines, seas of cloud, and radiant sunrises. Eons of wind and rain have coaxed twisted guest-greeting pines to cling to sheer rock faces, their bent forms appearing to bow in timeless welcome. Nearly 200 granite pinnacles pierce the sky through rolling mists, resembling a ghostly fleet adrift on a silver ocean. During the Song Dynasty, painters sought to capture Huangshan's ethereal beauty in ink scrolls. Poets likened drifting clouds to silver rivers flowing among jade isles. A whispered legend speaks of an immortal hermit who once practiced calligraphy from a hidden cave, leaving behind walls inscribed with secrets that artists still seek today. Adventurers descend into the Zhihai Grand Canyon, navigating narrow stone staircases carved into sheer cliffs. The Flying Rock Bridge, a timber walkway bolted to vertical granite, offers heart-racing views of plunging chasms. At dawn, hikers converge on Bright Summit to witness the sun burn away fog in a breathtaking blaze of light. In the evening, travelers descend to Tungsi Old Town, where narrow lanes glow under red lanterns, and the aroma of local teas and stinky tofu beckons. Here, the day's memories are savored as deeply as the steaming cups of green tea. Huangshan is where rock and mist dance in eternal harmony. Dominating the Qinling Range in Shanxi Province, Mount Hua soars to 2,154 meters at its western peak, known locally as Lotus Flower Peak. Its 5 summits, east, south, west, north, and central, are linked by sheer ridges, precarious plank pathways, and stone steps carved into nearly vertical rock faces. As dawn light washes the granite in pale rose, the mountain awakens like a sleeping giant, its cliffs beckoning brave souls to traverse the famous plank walk in the sky. Since the Qin dynasty, Mount Hua has stood as one of China's 5 great Taoist mountains. Hidden among its fissures and caves are the Jade Spring Temple and Purple Cloud Temple, where Taoist priests once pursued alchemical elixirs that promised immortality. Scrolls in these temples tell of vipers transformed into sages and of secret manuscripts written in the blood of lotus hermits, their fated characters still etched on stone tablets near the eastern peak. The most daring path, the plank walk, consists of narrow wooden boards bolted to cliffs thousands of meters above the valley floor. Heart pounding, travelers clip into safety harnesses as they inch forward, the world dropping away beneath them. At the summit of the East Peak, the Feng Shui Pavilion perches like a sentinel in the clouds. Pilgrims arrive by lantern light to greet first sunlight, believing the air there carries divine revelations. Legend says Master Li Qingzhao, a Tang-era poet and seeker of truth, once scaled these cliffs to debate scriptures with celestial beings. Near the North Peak, her carved inscription remains faint but legible, a testament to her devotion. At moonrise, visitors claim to hear her whispered couplets carried on the wind, as if the mountain itself recites her verses. Where courage and contemplation converge at the highest edge, Mount Hua stands as a testament to human daring and divine mystery. Mount Mian. Rising to 2,566 meters near Linfen in Shanxi Province, Mount Mian spans 295 square kilometers of verdant valleys, limestone cliffs, and hidden grottos. Revered since the Tang dynasty as the site of the ancient Zhongnan Poetry Fair, this mountain remains a living shrine to China's greatest verse, its slopes echoing with rhyme and meter as poets still gather under blossoming apricot trees each spring. Beneath the canopy, secret limestone caverns shelter emerald springs said to awaken the imagination. The Moonlight Grotto, with its silver-lined walls, glows softly under nocturnal skies, inspiring midnight recitals by torchlight. Nearby, the Dragon's Tears Spring casts rainbows into the mist, its crystalline waters believed to bestow creative inspiration on those who sip from its pools. Pilgrims ascend winding Twin Dragon Temple steps, where massive stone pillars are carved with lines from Li Bai's immortal couplets. Legend holds that at dawn, Li spirit returns to compose fresh verses on the mountain breeze, guiding travelers toward insight. Each etched character feels alive, the mountain itself a grand anthology hewn in stone. Every April, the Poetry Fair revives the Tang tradition. Poets, calligraphers, and scholars convene beneath flowering branches, reciting impromptu lines that flutter on paper banners like colorful kites. Adventurers challenge the Cloud Gate Pass, a narrow corridor carved into cliffs, before pausing at Stone Drum Cliff, a natural amphitheater where even a whisper rings like a ceremonial drum. On Mount Mian, every footstep and breath becomes a line in the endless poem of nature. Mount Wutai. In northeastern Shanxi province, Mount Wutai's 5 flat-topped peaks, ranging from 2,965 to 3,058 meters, form a sacred crown for over 50 monasteries. Its 18,415 hectares of pine forests and misty gullies were sanctified in 2009 as a UNESCO Cultural Heritage Site, honoring a legacy of devotion that stretches back 1,500 years. Wander through the echoing halls of Xiantong Temple, established during the Northern Wei Dynasty, where red lacquer pillars rise beneath carved ceilings. A short climb brings you to Taiwan Temple, its gleaming white pagoda reflecting in lower courtyard pools. Along incense-streaked pathways, prayer wheels turn in unison, and sculpted lions guard moss-covered stone bridges. Legend proclaims Mount Wutai as the earthly palace of Bodhisattva Manjushri, patron of wisdom. Monks recount an apparition. At sunrise on the North Peak, a radiant figure on a cloud offered silent blessing to assembled devotees. To this day, pilgrims leave small clay figurines at his shrine, hoping his light will illuminate their minds. At dawn, join local faithful in dawn alms rounds at Gash County, where chanting monks in ochre robes process through temple grounds, receiving offerings of tea and fruit. As night falls, stargazers ascend to Jinding Summit, where the Milky Way unfurls above worshippers, and the rhythmic toll of temple bells anchors the soul in the vastness of the cosmos. Mount Wutai is a celestial plateau where the faithful and the firmament meet in reverent stillness. Mount Pan. East of Tianjin, overlooking the Bohai Sea, Mount Pan's limestone ridges climb to 858 meters across a 20-square-kilometer tapestry of verdant gorges and rocky outcrops. From the summit, the horizon melts into a haze of sea and sky, where fishing boats drift like memories on dawn-tinted waters. Stroll the stone tablet path, an 800-year-old promenade lined with monolithic steles engraved by Song and Ming scholars. Each poetic inscription offers a glimpse into imperial court life and coastal lore. At the cloud viewing terrace, pavilions hover on cliff edges, framing panoramas of forested ravines bathed in golden sunrise light. For generations, coastal villagers have worshipped Panshan as the dwelling of a benevolent sea dragon. When tempests roared, they lit lanterns in cliffside temples, chanting prayers to soothe the spirit's anger. One enduring tale speaks of a fisherman's daughter who rescued a stranded sea turtle. In gratitude, the dragon revealed hidden rock pools brimming with miraculous healing waters. Climb to the Hanging Temple, a shrine built into a sheer limestone wall, its narrow corridors and ancient statues suspended above abyssal drops. At White Pagoda Park, rows of alabaster stupas glimmer in sunlight, their bells tolling with every breeze. For a gentler pilgrimage, follow the Hidden Stream Trail to tea-leaf-scented pavilions, where locals serve herbal infusions and share stories of mountain spirits. On Mount Pan, each tide-kissed stone and echoing bell soulfully sings the union of sea and sky. Ruyi Peak Scenic Area. Nestled in Guangxi's Yangshuo County, Ruyi Peak may top out at a modest 308 meters, yet its towering, scepter-shaped limestone karst demands awe. From the riverbanks, its emerald cliffs rise like a monarch's staff, clothed in verdant ferns and vines. At sunrise, the peak glows soft jade, mirrored in the Li River's glassy surface. Mist coils around its base, lending the summit a dreamlike veil that drifts with the breeze. For panoramic thrills, visitors board the 1,728-meter cable car, which climbs from the bamboo-shaded valley to the summit station in under 10 minutes. Below, patchworks of terraced rice fields and emerald groves unfold. At the top, the Yunding Glass Skywalk extends from the cliffs like a crystalline finger pointing skyward. Walking its transparent panels, suspended hundreds of meters above ancient bamboo forests, gives the illusion of floating among the clouds. Thrill-seekers pause mid-stride to peer straight down at darting fish in the river and winding trails far below. Local fisherfolk tell of Miao, the mountain spirit whose scepter-shaped silhouette guided ancient boatmen through mist-choked rivers. They say that on full moon nights, reflections of lanterns on the Li River shimmer like fireflies, marking her path back to the summit. One tale recounts a stranded trader who called out Miao's name. Minutes later, lantern lights drifted through the fog, leading him safely to shore. Villagers still leave small lanterns at the peak's base to honor her protective watch. No visit is complete without a bamboo raft journey beneath Ruyi's limestone cliffs. Laid-back oarsmen guide simple rafts through jade pools, pointing out hidden grottos where swiftlets nest. At dawn, cliff-side tea houses open their latticed windows to admit the trill of orioles, offering jasmine tea brewed from local blossoms. Guests sip steaming cups on wooden decks suspended above the river, as flocks of swallows dart in spirals overhead, an orchestra of wings and water that awakens every sense. Rui Peak stands as a delicate scepter reaching into the southern skies. Tianmen Mountain. Back in Hunan's Zhangjiajie region, Tianmen Mountain ascends to 1,518 meters, a fortress carved from limestone and quartz. Its legendary 99-curve road, known as the Heaven-Linking Avenue, snakes up the cliff face, each hairpin weaving a tapestry of vertigo and beauty. Drivers and cyclists alike whisper myths of how the serpentine route was carved by a single fearless monk seeking communion with the skies. As you climb, each bend reveals deeper gorges, ancient cedar clusters, and distant peaks shrouded in clouds. At the mountain's heart lies Tianmen Cave, the Heaven's Gate, a colossal natural arch 131.5 meters high. Legend says it formed when a celestial dragon, yearning to return to the heavens, struck the rock with its tail, punching a portal between earth and sky. Pilgrims still crawl man-size through the arch's lower reaches, pausing to touch its cool walls and whisper prayers for safe passage. On clear mornings, sunbeams stream through the gate, casting columns of golden light that dance on swirling mist. Adventurers board one of the world's longest cableways, a 7,499-meter descent from mountaintop to valley floor, passing sheer cliffs and hanging gardens. Near the summit, a glass skywalk clings to a vertical face, inviting brave souls to step onto transparent platforms overlooking dizzying drops. Yet, tranquility lies just steps away. The Huayan Temple, founded in the Tang Dynasty, perches serenely beside the cave's rim. Within its incense-scented courtyards, worshippers bow under carved eaves, listening to distant waterfalls echo through mossy pavilions. In recent years, Tianmen's Arch has become the stage for extreme sports. Base jumpers hurl themselves through the Heaven's Gate, their parachutes unfurling against the rock walls in vivid bursts of color. Photographers assemble at Sunrise Pavilion, braving pre-dawn cold to capture the moment when clouds pour like molten silver through the gate, an ephemeral waterfall of mist that lingers for mere minutes before vanishing into the morning light. Chenmen Mountain is the portal where heaven touches the earth. As our odyssey among China's living cathedrals comes to an end, we leave behind the soaring spires of Wulingyuan, the sacred hush of Mount Emei's forest temples, the painterly swaths of Zhangye-Danxia, and the ink-washed pinnacles of Huangshan. Each a chapter in the endless tale of earth and spirit. May these realms of mist and stone continue to inspire your own dreams of wonder. Which summit stirred your soul the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know where you'd wander next. If you're hungry for more journeys into the heart of the world's most enchanting landscapes, hit subscribe and ring the bell. The next adventure awaits just beyond the horizon. Step off the well-trodden paths of China's legendary peaks, and you'll discover a realm where reality blurs into myth. In these hidden mountains, ancient temples perch on mist-shrouded cliffs. Scarlet sandstone formations shimmer at sunrise, and every trail whispers tales of sages, emperors, and mythic creatures. Each of the 10 destinations we explore here is a unique fragment, a living mosaic of geology, history, culture, and adventure. Together, they form a tapestry so breathtakingly surreal it feels as though you've stepped into a dream. Prepare to journey through secret valleys and sacred summits, where every vista invites wonder and every legend comes alive. Tusita Heaven Scenic Area. Perched over Shaoxing's misty plains, Tusita Heaven unfolds along a centuries-old stairway carved from granite. Towering pines frame each switchback, their needles whispering secrets as you climb. When the forest opens, a broad terrace reveals the alabaster halls of Tushita Palace, whose white walls gleam like clouds against the dark green backdrop. Beyond, Longhua Temple's ochre rooftops peek through fluttering prayer flags. At dawn, folds of mist drift between temple towers, transforming the entire mountaintop into a floating sanctuary where sky and stone converge. According to legend, Tang-era monks witnessed luminous bodhisattvas dancing among these cliffs. Believing the summit to mirror the heavenly Tushita realm, they built a modest pavilion around 650 CE. Over subsequent dynasties, emperors and pilgrims contributed halls, scripture libraries, and stone bridges. In 1612, a devastating fire reduced much of the complex to embers. Local villagers and clergy then rebuilt the main halls in granite, preserving ancient inscriptions that still glow in torchlight. Each year, on the 15th day of the 4th lunar month, the Lantern Festival bathes the palace in soft, golden light. Villagers hand-paint silk lanterns inscribed with prayers, releasing them at dusk so they drift upward like floating stars. Throughout the year, at first light, the temple bell tolls 5 times, once for each sense, calling devotees into a silent tea ceremony. For modern explorers, a pre-dawn climb yields a breathtaking sunrise above the clouds. Wander into hidden grottos where monks chant sutras by candlelight. Don sturdy hiking shoes. The final 100 steps are steep and worn smooth by generations of faithful. At midday, descend to the monastery's vegetarian guest house, sampling stir-fried mountain greens and hand-pressed tofu before returning to the stairway's embrace. Here, every breath feels like a prayer, and each footstep resonates with centuries of devotion. Lingshan Grand Buddha Scenic Area. On the shore of serene Taihu Lake stands the colossal Lingshan Grand Buddha, an 88-meter bronze Amitabha, whose tranquil gaze surveys a landscape of water and sky. Its simple yet majestic silhouette rises from a lotus-shaped plinth, while the adjacent Brahma Palace spreads out like a lotus blossom, its gilded dragons and lotus-carved columns glinting in the sunlight. At the Buddha's feet, a reflective pool dotted with scarlet lotus blooms transforms the statue into a floating vision each morning. When mist curls off the lake at dawn, the Buddha appears to hover between 2 worlds. Inspired by an 18th century prophecy that Taihu's mists would birth a guardian of peace, local patrons commissioned the statue in 1990. Masters from Suzhou forged a custom bronze alloy resistant to corrosion and temperature swings. In 1996, during the consecration ceremony, witnesses described an uncanny calm settling over the lake, a silent testament to Amitabha's compassionate presence. Twice daily, at sunrise and sunset, the lotus offering ceremony unfolds. Saffron-robed monks place freshly cut lotus blossoms at the Buddha's base, each bloom symbolizing a prayer for harmony. As dusk deepens, the Dharma light, sound and light performance animates the statue's outline with synchronized LEDs and flowing water jets. Visitors stand in hushed wonder as chanting reverberates off marble walls. For a meditative encounter, book a guided session inside the Buddha's internal shrine, where relics of eminent masters lie encased behind glass. Follow the spiraling ramp to brush your hand against the Buddha's toe, a ritual said to bestow mental clarity. Early birds can also embark on lake boat tours, gliding beneath the Buddha's watchful gaze amid drifting lotus fields. The adjacent Golden Lotus Garden, open April to October, invites sunset strolls among thousands of illuminated blossoms, their cool fragrance drifting through the evening air. Standing beneath this monumental guardian, you feel enveloped by a profound peace that resonates from lake to sky. Mount Laojun. High atop the Funyu Range, Mount Laojun looms like an ancient sentinel guarding the sky. Legend whispers that Laozi himself retreated to a secret grotto here, seeking solitude to pen the Tao's first verses on slender bamboo slips. Villagers still tell of a hidden cave behind a cascading waterfall, only revealed when morning mists part, and of faint echoes of chanting that drift down the mountainside at dusk. Pilgrims since the Han Dynasty have traced the sage's footsteps, carving narrow stone steps into the granite slopes, each worn smooth by centuries of reverent passage. At dawn, the summit rewards early climbers with a sea of clouds panorama unrivaled in China. As sunlight fractures the horizon, rolling mists glow rose gold, revealing jagged peaks that float like islands in a vaporous ocean. Beneath your feet, carpets of purple asters and golden daylilies blanket hidden ledges. Above, gnarled pines, bent by wind and rain, etch dramatic silhouettes against pastel skies. Along the dragon's tail ridge, each viewpoint unveils a fresh marvel, a pair of rock formations known as twin dragons, twisting skyward, or the Whispering Rocks, whose hollowed surfaces channel alpine breezes into haunting melodies. In summer, hidden waterfalls surge through narrow clefts, their silken ribbons glinting in dappled light. In autumn, the air chills and leaves turn fiery crimson, turning every trail into a living canvas. For the classic tea house run, begin your ascent before first light. The steep 3-hour trail leads to Jiguan Cave, where local farmers brew jasmine-scented chrysanthemum tea over smoky stoves. Cradling a warm porcelain cup, you stand above the clouds as dawn breaks, an experience that awakens body and soul. Dress in layered clothing to adapt to shifting temperatures, and pack trekking poles to navigate uneven stone steps. Though challenging, the reward is a serene solitude and vistas few glimpse. Perched above the world, you feel Laozi's ancient wisdom echo in every whisper of wind. Mount Qingcheng. Nestled amid emerald bamboo groves, Mount Qingcheng exudes a hush so profound it feels like stepping into another realm. Shafts of sunlight pierce the canopy in emerald beams, illuminating moss-draped stones and time-worn lanterns that guard hidden pathways. Gentle streams thread through the forest, their burble mingling with distant temple bells, while pavilions hover above jade pools that mirror the sky. In misty mornings, clouds weave through bamboo stalks, blurring boundaries so that trees appear to float in an endless green sea. Celebrated as Taoism's birthplace in the 2nd century CE, Qingcheng's slopes once hosted Zhang Daoling's alchemical experiments. Scholars believe he distilled his first elixirs here, inscribing founding texts on cavern walls now guarded by silent stone figures. Many original Han and Tang-era shrines remain intact, their vermilion pillars softened by centuries of lichen and incense smoke. Embark on the Temple-to-Temple Trail, a half-day loop linking Shangqing Palace, Tianxi Cave, and Laojun Pavilion. Along the way, pause at family-run tea houses where bamboo-steamed rice and fragrant chrysanthemum infusions await. At Tianxi Cave, join a sunrise qigong session. Under the canopy's green glow, instructors guide you through flowing movements that align breath with the mountain's heartbeat. For deeper discovery, hire a local guide to lead you down narrow side trails toward secluded grotto shrines, where faded Taoist inscriptions hint at millennia of devotion. In Qingcheng's living cathedral of bamboo, each breath draws you closer to the timeless harmony of earth and spirit. Nushu Mountain, scenic area. Tucked beneath terraced vineyards that ripple like emerald waves, Nushu Mountain holds a world both above and below the earth. At its base, rows of Cabernet grapes bask in southern Jiangsu's warm sun, their vines tracing the mountain's gentle curves. Yet, venture inside, and you enter the vast, subterranean Foding Palace, an underground sanctuary carved into solid rock, where vaulted ceilings soar overhead and candlelit corridors lead to silent alcoves. Above ground, stone steps ascend in concentric tiers to the great Usnissa Hall, a towering structure crowned by a gilded spire that glints for miles against the skyline. This juxtaposition of sunlit vineyards and hushed caverns embodies Neosho's unique harmony of earth, culture, and faith. In the winter of 2015, during routine excavations for an expansion project, workers stumbled upon a crystalline bead nestled within layers of ancient rubble. Polished by centuries underground, it radiated an uncanny inner glow. Monks on site declared it a pearl of the Buddha, a celestial gift long hidden. Today, it rests within a glass stupa at the heart of Foding Palace, its soft luminescence visible round the clock, drawing pilgrims who believe a glimpse can grant clarity to the troubled mind. Descend into Foding Palace and you'll find walls painted with swirling Buddhist mandalas that stretch across arched ceilings. The air holds the faint scent of sandalwood incense perpetually burning. Ascend the terraced stairway to Usnisa Hall and note the intricate dragon-carved balustrades. Each guardian sculpture, with eyes inlaid by translucent jade, seems poised to spring from stone. As dusk falls, rows of crimson lanterns ignite within the hall, their flickering light echoing the temple's timeless rhythm. In Nyusho's deep halls and sunlit heights, you feel the pulse of centuries of devotion echo in every stone. Mount Danxia. Mount Danxia emerges from Guangdong's subtropical plains as a living canvas painted in every shade of red. Over 1.5 billion years, layers of sandstone and conglomerate have been sculpted by wind and water into towering cliffs, slender pillars, and grand natural bridges. At dawn, sunlight strikes the rock faces at just the right angle to set them ablaze in molten orange and crimson, an effect so surreal that early explorers believed they had discovered flaming mountains. Paths of ochre dust wind through narrow ravines, inviting travelers to wander among columns that seem hand-carved by titanic forces beyond comprehension. Local legend speaks of a celestial dragon wounded in a skyward battle, who fell to earth at Danxia. Its body, they say, formed the rippling ridges and curving peaks that undulate across the landscape. At the famous Sleeping Dragon viewpoint, visitors can trace the head, torso, and tail in stone contours, an uncanny illusion that stirs the imagination with ancient myth. For photographers, Danxia's trail network offers an ever-changing stage. The Redstone Grove reveals spindly hoodoo formations. The Rainbow Bridge arcs over a narrow gorge like a natural cathedral. And the Yangyuan stone provides sweeping panoramas at sunrise, when fog drifts through canyons and sunbeams carve chiaroscuro patterns into rock. Amid Danxia's fiery ridges and whispering canyons, every shade of red speaks to the Earth's patient artistry. Janmen Pass. Janmen Pass cleaves through sheer limestone cliffs, forming a narrow corridor where dawn mist coils around towering walls like silent sentinels. Beneath your feet, centuries-old granite steps, worn smooth by endless footsteps, ascend toward a vermilion gate that seems to float between sky and stone. From cliff-edge balconies, you peer into a jade-green river snaking through the gorge's heart, its waters murmuring against time-polished rocks. Rays of early sunlight fracture through the mist, casting shifting patterns of light and shadow that dance across the weathered facade, as if the mountain itself breathes with hidden life. The air here carries a hush, broken only by distant echoes of dripping water and the soft whisper of wind through cracks in the rock. In 228 AD, Zhuge Liang, brilliant strategist of the Three Kingdoms, deployed ingenious wooden oxen contraptions here to sever enemy supply lines, repelling a vast invading force. Stone tablets etched into the cliff face memorialize his tactics, the graceful calligraphy still gleaming when lit by torchlight. Local guides recite these accounts as they lead you past relics of ancient guard posts and arrow slits carved into the rock, testaments to a time when control of this pass meant dominion over entire regions. Each autumn, Jianmen's cliffs resound with the clash of steel during the Sword Dance Festival. Performers don historic armor and leap across narrow ledges, executing choreographed routines that echo battlefield formations. Their gleaming blades catch the sun in rhythmic arcs, and the metallic clang reverberates through the canyon, blurring past and present, war and art. For adrenaline seekers, certified guides offer rappelling excursions down the very trails once reserved for elite soldiers. Harnessed securely, you descend sheer cliff faces, fingertips tracing layers of limestone formed over geological epochs, heart pounding in concert with the gorge's ancient pulse. Standing within these towering walls, you sense the echo of shields and strategies etched into stone, feeling history's heartbeat in every breath. Kunlun Mountains. The Kunlun Mountains stretch like a celestial backbone across western China, their snow-laced peaks piercing the heavens. Vast glaciers carve deep valleys that cradle sapphire-hued lakes, their still surfaces reflecting towering spires in perfect symmetry. Sparse juniper groves cling to rocky terraces, while summer wildflowers, azure poppies and golden gentians, dot alpine meadows with bursts of color. With every inhale, the thin, crisp air fills you with electric clarity, and every horizon line seems to dissolve into boundless potential. According to Taoist lore, the Queen Mother of the West resides high in these peaks, her jade palace hidden beyond impassable passes. Shamans make pilgrimages here, draping prayer flags at wind-swept shrines and leaving incense bundles in cliffside niches, seeking divine wisdom in the thin mountain air. At the foot of Liu Shan, 7,167 meters, yurt camps welcome intrepid travelers for multi-day horseback treks across tundra-like plateaus. As night falls, the Milky Way unfurls in breathtaking clarity overhead, mirrored by frozen lakes that lie like polished glass. Sleeping under this vast canopy, you feel suspended between Earth and cosmos. Tajik shepherds open their encampments with warm hospitality, offering aged yak milk cheese and sweet apricot brandy distilled by hand. Gathered around crackling fires, elders share Silk Road sagas and tales of mythical beasts said to roam hidden valleys, weaving a tapestry of culture and legend under the starlit sky. Here, at the roof of the world, myths and landscapes converge, leaving you poised between the mortal and the divine. Kongtong Mountain. Kongtong Mountain rises abruptly from the rolling grasslands of Gansu, its limestone cliffs carved into graceful arches and jagged spires by millennia of wind and rain. At sunrise, the first light spills over the flying Rainbow Bridge, a natural stone arch that frames distant peaks in gold and rose. Narrow terraces carved into the rock near jade-green pools host clumps of bamboo and pines, each tree's silhouette mirrored perfectly in still water. Mist often drifts through cliffside grottos, lending the entire range an ethereal glow, as if the mountains themselves breathe ancient secrets into the dawn. The winding trail, hewn from living rock, leads past wind-whispered inscriptions and moss-draped shrines, each turn revealing a new vista. A lone cedar clinging to a cliff's edge, a waterfall plunging into a hidden basin, or the crimson banners of a Taoist pavilion peeking through bamboo stalks. Legend claims the Yellow Emperor ascended Kongtong's peaks to meet the immortal Guangchengzi, receiving teachings that shaped Chinese civilization. Today, stone steps, exactly 108 in number, win to Taihei Palace, where vermilion pillars stand beneath eaves painted in dragon motifs. Each carved beam seems to hum with the echoes of ancient dialogues between emperor and sage. Devotees begin at dawn, chanting as they climb the labyrinthine flight of stairs. Along the way, they pause at cliffside niches filled with incense coils and prayer candles, offering silent homage before continuing toward the summit. The journey takes roughly 2 hours and culminates at the Sky Mirror, a polished granite platform where, legend says, the divine realm reflects back to earthly travelers. Every midsummer, Kongtong hosts the Three Religions ceremony, uniting Taoist, Buddhist, and Confucian rites in a single day. Drums echo across the valley as monks, priests, and scholars perform synchronized rituals, an evocative testament to China's syncretic heritage. Here, between stone inscriptions and whispering pines, you feel the convergence of myth and mountain in every reverent breath. Flaming mountains. Stretching like molten waves at the edge of the Taklamakan Desert, The flaming mountains glow in fiery hues that shift from deepest crimson at dawn to molten orange by midday. Wind-carved ravines and fissures ripple across the sandstone ridges, creating patterns that seem to flicker like living flames. Early explorers described the landscape as burning hills, and when sunlight strikes the iron-rich rock at just the right angle, the entire range appears ablaze. Beneath cobalt skies, narrow passes reveal hidden contrasts. Small oases of tamarisk and reed-lined pools reflecting the sky, forging magical pockets of cool tranquility amid the scorching rock. Local camel caravans speak of the Devil's Tongue Ridge, sharp-edged sandstone fins that jut into the sky like flames frozen in stone. By late afternoon, the rock faces emit radiant heat, causing distant mirages that dance above the ridges. Travelers often leave offerings of water gourds at rock altars, honoring the land's fierce spirit. Immortalized in the classic novel Journey to the West, the Flaming Mountains tested Sun Wukong's cunning when he borrowed a magical fan to quell the inferno. Pilgrims retrace this legend, standing before the Fan Temple, where a relic fan is displayed under protective glass, said to be a fragment of the divine implement that tamed the flames. Best experienced at dawn, when cooler temperatures allow for clarity of color and safer passage. Join a guided camel trek through narrow gullies, pausing at Red Flame Arch for sunrise photography. Afterward, venture to the nearby Bezeklik Thousand Buddha Caves, ancient cliff carvings that offer shade and a glimpse of early Buddhist art in stark contrast to the fiery exterior. Amid these scarlet ridges and whispering mirages, you glimpse a world where Earth itself seems to breathe fire, and you stand at the center of its awe-inspiring pulse. As our journey through these hidden mountains draws to a close, you've wandered through realms where scarlet cliffs glow like embers and ancient temples drift atop clouds. These landscapes blur the line between myth and reality, inviting you to step off the beaten path and discover your own story among misty ridges and sacred shrines. Which of these dreamlike vistas stirred your imagination the most? And where will your next adventure lead you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you crave more untold wonders and breathtaking journeys, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next.